and we will just go ahead and get started. That way I don't keep you guys longer than needed. So welcome. This is our spring meeting. Today we're going to go over some just updates, end of the year updates, kind of summer projects that we're going to be working on. We'll talk about some different things. If you guys have anything that you want to add at the end, roundtable, we'll talk about just kind of the updates that are planning to be coming and leave it open to you guys for some feedback as well. The first thing that I want to talk about, again, I'm Megan. For those of you that do not know me, I kind of oversee the student information piece here at LACA, and you'll be hearing from other team members here in a little bit. But I want to talk today about your school year initialization forms. If you have returned your form back to me, you have that new school year built for you. Most of you, I think everybody that's on here pretty much has. I am going to send an email individually to those folks that I haven't received anything from yet. It is really important to make sure that we get those forms back and I get that new school year built for you. That way you can start your scheduling process. We can start all of everything that is needed for that new school year. But one of the main things is if you are a high school and grad reporting open today, you cannot, well, you can report, but you'll get everything back blank. And Bree will talk about that a little bit more on her part. But it is very important that you have that new school year built prior to submitting your grad reporting. So we want to make sure that that is done. And if your high school has been built, but maybe some of your other buildings haven't, that's okay. That's the main one that we're concerned about. But we do want to make sure that that is taken care of, and I do have those forms back so that I can make sure your new year is built and ready to go. If you are having LACA do your student promotions, some of you are doing your own student promotions and some of you have LACA doing those for you. If LACA is doing these for you, I have already started promoting if I've been told. And we will do our last promotion. I think I have that on maybe a different slide. There it is. Friday, June 27th is going to be the last day that we're promoting students for that new school year, pulling them up. Now, as always, I do these monthly if I am doing them for you. And if you need students pulled prior to that maybe enrolled and you want to get their schedules done, just send me an email or submit a help desk ticket and I can pull those students again for you. That way you have those new kiddos into that new year for you. There are a couple of reports within SYNC for LACA districts that you can run to see if students were promoted that have since withdrawn from the school year. So that would mean you need to go into that new school year and whack out the admission history record. And then there's also a report out there in SYNC that says, you know, these are the students that haven't been promoted yet to your new school year. So you can run those reports to make sure that everything is cleaned up and ready to go. You get those kids that have withdrawn out of the system. That way we don't start reporting anybody on those as well. Like I mentioned, if LACA is doing your promotions for you, our last day of promotions is going to be Friday, June 27th. And the reason why we picked that date for our last day of promotions is because we are going to default the new school year to July 1st. And this is done ITC wide, but we're going to do that for both Connect and for LACA districts on July 1. Basically what that means is it's just when you log into the system, your default school year is now going to be set to that 25-26 school year as opposed to the 24-25 school year. So it doesn't mean anything. Bree will talk about the fall initialization and that process here in a little bit as well, but this is just setting that default school year. I know last year we had a lot of questions on that in regards to third-party vendors and when those softwares can start up and when everything can get started for that process. So just know that July 1st is when that default school year is going to be set. So I sent out a document that is kind of like the end of year report suggestions. So you should have received that email from me with several attachments. in there, I created a document that is a good kind of practice for at the end of each school year, have your building admins or secretaries, someone within the district run those reports. Those are good reports to keep on hand if for just for filing purposes. Those are reports that we suggest to run each year at the end of the school year, just so that you can make sure you have them. I'm not sure where everyone stores their documents. Again, you can always go back into the system and run these reports. Something that I have seen is, for example, if you didn't run transcripts from the 2010 timeframe, OGTs are no longer kept in the system. So if you want a transcript with your OGTs printed on them and someone comes to you and says, I need my transcript, we can't just navigate back to that 2010 school year and run that transcript because OGTs won't be on there for that student. So this is something that I've run into a few times recently. Folks are wondering why the OGTs aren't printing on there, but those have been removed from the system. They're still in the system, but you would have to do them a little bit differently. So we would have to pull your transcript a little differently, maybe put it into a different field to be able to get those OGTs to pull. So that's just one example as to why you should run transcripts at the end of the year and file those away somewhere. And I'm not sure, every district does things a little bit different as far as document storage is concerned. I know that's been a topic of conversation for us before. We've kind of asked questions about what districts are doing for document storage. And some of you say, we still have our file cabinets full. Some of you say, we moved to an online file system. Does anybody want to talk about kind of what your process is for document storage? Does anybody have anything that you're currently doing and that you love? No? Okay. If you want to drop that into the chat, feel free to drop that into the chat. If you don't want to speak up at this point, I understand. But that is something that that I do want to make sure everybody is aware of, is to just be able to run those individual year-end reports and just make sure that you're saving them just to have that document out there. Some different summer projects that I plan to work on are going to be updating discipline letters, attendance letters, report cards, and transcripts. You'll kind of see this June 27th date out there for a lot of things. And the reason why, that's when we're going to do our last promotion. That's when we, if you know any changes that are going to be happening, we would love to have all of those by June 27th, because as you guys know, July is kind of the more quote unquote quiet time for us here at the ITC because, well, everybody goes home during July. So it's our time to really catch up on things and to be able to knock some of those summer projects out. In years past, I have been getting discipline letters and attendance letters and complete rewrites of those things when they get back to school. And it's hard because now a lot of times, hopefully, discipline and attendance doesn't happen right, the first couple of weeks of school, but the first few weeks of school are typically pretty busy. And then August is pretty busy with elementary scheduling and getting back into the swing of things. So I do like to have letters as updated as possible and loaded into the system and for you guys to test out prior to the first day of school. So if you have any changes, if you know of your changes, sometimes you may not know of that principal's name yet, and that's okay. We can make those types of changes, on the fly, but it would be easier if you have any of those custom letters or reports that need updated, if we can get those updates in, and we're hoping for June 27th on that date. So if you have any of those, if you are curious about what your letters currently are and you would like to see them, all the letters that I have created for districts, I have saved, so I can send those to you and you can just kind of refresh those and get those back out to everybody.
Megan?
Yeah.
So I know we're going to have a building principal change at Newton Elementary.
Okay.
you need me to send you all new discipline letters and attendance letters, or can
Just
we just
the
change
way
the
that you guys
principal?
have them. Yeah, the way that you guys have them is just for your you're broken out by building, I believe, right? So they're very
Yes.
specific. Yeah, just is if that's the only change is the principal name, then just send me the principal name and I can just update it for that building.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Are there any other questions um, on the summer project, my summer project list? Okay. So the next big topic is going to be elementary scheduling. Elementary scheduling typically happens in August when everybody gets back. If for some reason you have your class lists done ahead of time, they have them done in June, July, if they're here in July. If they want to do it prior to that August 1st date when everybody comes back, please let me know. We can do, I plan on holding a general Zoom session for elementary scheduling, which is just very generalized. It's not, it just kind of goes through big picture of everything. It's more for your seasoned folks that don't need that hand holding. Just need to be able to go in and just kind of have that refresher. I do district Zoom sessions, and this works really well for if you have a time when all of your elementaries can kind of get together in one room and just say, okay, we're going to do elementary scheduling. And then I can also do one-off sessions. Now, at the beginning of the school year, the one-on-one sessions are a little bit more difficult. So if we're going to do the one-on-one sessions, I would suggest those be in either June or July. That way, that way we can really kind of dive into the individual building. Because like I said, once August hits, it gets a little bit crazy. I know for you guys as well. But it does work well when you have the just if you have all of your elementaries come to one building and we can just kind of go through and hash everything out that way. Those are for elementary scheduling specifically. Once you have your class lists, that's when I would suggest to make sure that we set that up. You can get on my calendar now if you want to do the individual or if you want to do the district Zooms. I would suggest emailing a date as soon as possible because, like I said,
Hi,
August
Brian.
fills up quickly.
Good, how are you? Yeah,
So the 25.0.0 release is going to be our next release within the system. There is going to be a lot of updates in that release, and so they decided to push it back. Typically, it would be in the May timeframe, but with everything that is going into it, they decided to just push it into June. That way, we can get through all of reporting and we can get through the end of the school year without, creating any havoc if there would be any type of bug that would arise with that. So we don't have a specific date yet, but the date is set for June. And there are a lot of different topics that I want to kind of go over with you within that June release date. There are a lot of EMIS changes, and Bree will talk about those in her specific EMIS meetings. But then there is a SIS admin mobile app update. I'll show you some screens of that. We'll talk a little bit about social security numbers and then a few other enhancement requests. The first thing I'm going to talk about is the SIS admin, the mobile app. So I'm not sure how many folks are using the mobile app right now, but it is a really good feature. And basically, they're just updating the look and feel of everything. So better stability, more modern look. It'll be kind of bringing it up to the 2025 year as opposed to the way that it has been looking. So it will be available for iOS and Android, and you can find it at any of your app stores. Here is kind of a look as to what that mobile app is going to look like. It has all the same data points available for your kiddos. You can tap on the icon, alert icons, and it will drop down the descriptions. It'll give you all of the information kind of at a glance for your student in context. One of the big topics has been Social Security numbers within the system. I know we sent a message out to the superintendents, and I think it was pretty clear across the board that we wanted to wipe the Social Security numbers out of the system. And that was heard, and I think for all of our districts, both Connect and LACA, I believe that this has already been taken care of for you. If you are seeing that Social Security numbers may still be coming into the system, it could be because you're still collecting it in your registration software. So you want to make sure that you get that out of the system as well. But just to start giving you a heads up, in the June release, these fields will be removed out of the system completely. So you won't have the ability to, on the student profile, on that private tab, that Social Security field that is there currently is going to go away. So we wanted to make sure that we gave you guys notice so that if you are storing those socials and you do want those saved somewhere, then you can go ahead and run reports and get those out of the system and save them if they have not already been wiped out for you. Again, most of the superintendents had replied and said that they did not want that present, but that is something that is coming in June, and that is not only off of the student profile, but also off of the registration wizard page. So these screens will show you where it is being taken out of. But that is just a kind of a heads up. If that is a field that you are collecting, you will want to make sure that you speak with your registration vendor and make sure you're not collecting that anymore. If you are collecting it, that it's not going to flow over into student information anywhere. And this leads back to just kind of cleaning up security and making sure that that identifiable data for the students is not out there, is not hanging out there. There have been data breaches where Social Security numbers were shared, and Frontline is kind of taking the stance that they don't want to have that happen, obviously. So they are removing it from the system. And like I said, this is going to happen in the updated June release. So I don't have a specific date yet on that, but as soon as I do, I will push that out to everybody and when your systems will be updated. But just know that in June that is coming. I have also had folks tell me that their Social Security number is no longer printing on the transcripts because we wiped those out per request. So if you have a field, if your transcript has a spot for a Social Security number and it's printing blank now, that would be why. And then if you want that data field removed on your transcript, so it's not just showing blank on there, let me know, and I can clean up your custom transcript to make sure that that field isn't pulling on there anymore.
Megan,
Yeah.
Stephanie just sent in the Zoom chat that she wanted to know that not all districts have cleaned up Social Security numbers and that she will be reaching out to those superintendents.
Perfect. Thank you. Are there any questions about the Social Security numbers? Okay. Again, it's going to be taken out of the student profile on that private tab, and then as well as the registration wizard. Some of the enhancements that will be coming, we have the state issued license, the grab points summary page. We have the state issued license that is going to be added on there on the points summary. And then I have the link there so that you can see the industry credentials and the state issued license information there. If you want more information on the grad point summary, you can go to that screen, but this is a field that is going to be pulling onto there soon. Okay, and I think does anybody have any specific student information questions for me? The once we get the release notes for what is going to be in the June release, I will be sure to send that out to all of the student information contacts. That way you guys have that. It'll be in my email, and then I'll attach the release notes, and you guys can just make sure that you get that on to the people that will need to see that information as well.
Megan,
Yeah.
Megan,
in the SIS app, is there a way to, it's forcing you to choose a school as the default school? Is there a way we can match that to, like when I sign in now, it defaults to the entire district? Is that an option versus picking a specific school?
I think in the app you have to pick a specific school,
Okay.
and then you have to go from there. But I will confirm that. Matt or Beth, do you know the answer to that one?
I don't. We'll have to look into that.
We'll double check that and let you know, Brittany.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Are there any other questions for me yet? Okay.
Megan, there's a question in chat.
Okay.
Bonnie is asking, we have a couple of social security numbers that are in the student number on the general tab. How do I correct these?
That is different. That is something that we are going to have to do over the summer in between school year reporting. I already have it on my calendar to set up. We'll talk about it when closer to that time so we can get those numbers changed.
Thank you, Bree.
Okay, I'm gonna pass it on to Beth.
All right, thank you. Good morning, everybody. Just some gradebook reminders. You all should have received your building sign-off sheets for gradebook for next school year. If you haven't, if for some reason I sent it to the wrong person, I'm hoping I sent it to all the team leaders, but if you haven't gotten those from me, let me know. It was, I think, 2 weeks ago now that I got those sent out. Some of you have already returned them, which is great. Those are due by June 27th. Just a reminder, we will not turn gradebook integration on until those forms have been returned. So if the building requests integration and we haven't gotten that form, I will send the form back in an email and ask that is filled out first. So that if you can get those in by June 27th, that would be amazing. It helps me set up your building and not try to rush and do it in August once integration is on. So it's really helpful on my end to have those back. Elementary report card changes. So standards-based report cards, those changes are due by June 27th as well. Some of you have already gotten those to me. If you have, I try to get those back to you with the revisions before school's out so your teachers can review them. And we can go back and forth until they look the way you want them to. So if you have sent me your changes and I haven't gotten them back to you yet, I hope to in May have those back. But again, super important that I have those by June 27th. It is once school starts, I really can't make changes to standards based. Once teachers are entering grades, there's not much I can do to change report cards. So it's super important I get those back so I can get them done over the summer. Finalizing the last report card. Most of your buildings are finalizing report cards every quarter, but I just like to remind everyone to at least do it the last quarter so that those go into the vault and they not only get posted to parent access, but they allow parents and staff to pull those report cards up in years to come. So when you have a parent saying they need a report card from 2022, they can either pull it up themselves in parent access or you can. So very important to at least do that final report card on parent access. But like I said, most secretaries are already doing that, and I did send documentation on how to do this. If anyone needs help with that, they can definitely give me a call and I can walk through it with them. I don't know if we have anyone not doing this at this point, but just a reminder. And then teacher trainings, it's not too early to get those on the calendar for August. If you do want new teacher trainings in August, if you want refresher trainings in August or September, I am available. I'd be happy to do it. I also have open labs where I just kind of sit on my computer with a Zoom open while I'm working, and then throughout the day or block of time that you schedule me, teachers can just pop on when they have time and ask questions that they might have. So feel free to at least maybe schedule a few of those in the beginning of the year. If you have just a few teachers that need help, definitely don't hesitate to get that scheduled. And then I don't have a lot of teacher updates for this release coming out in June. I will be sending out an email to all teachers with the few enhancements that there will be. One of the big ones that I think everybody will be happy about is that teachers will not be able to take attendance for future enrolled students. So right now, if you future enroll a student, teachers are just marking them absent, and then that comes over and they will not be able to do that anymore. So they will just see the student's name, but not have the ability to mark them absent. So that's a big one that's coming. Preferred pronoun will be coming to the student profile. They'll be able to copy seating charts. That's always been a popular request. And the other one, some lesson plan enhancements, which I will be sending out to all teachers so that they can see what's coming. But most of the updates for 25.0 would be on our end of things when we set up gradebooks on the admin side. So just a few teacher updates that I'll make sure all your teachers get when they come back in August. Are there any questions for me about any of those reminders or in gradebook in general? All right, well, thank you.
Thank you, Beth. I'm Jenny Gary. I work with special education and Same Goal, and also part of the student team. So welcome, everyone. I just have just a few things. I have my special education end of the year meeting coming, and it looks like that wasn't updated on the slide, so I apologize. The meeting is actually on Thursday, May 22nd? Is Thursday, May 22nd. Anyone have a calendar open to check for that? But it will be on Thursday. And
It's the 22nd on Thursday.
it is. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
sorry,
you. So
I updated the date and not the actual day of the week.
it's
my fault.
okay. It's okay. Thanks, Megan. No worries, but it is Thursday, May 22nd. It is going to be our EMIS staff from LACA is also going to be attending. I'm going to go over some EMIS checklist, best practices for the end of the year, some reports within Same Goal. And if you're interested, you're welcome to join. This will pertain to teachers and admins. Hopefully the admins will, portray this back to their staff. Okay. We also Megan also sent just a short version of things to look for in Same Goal that recommends the end of year task, how to access reports, how to get quick references within Same Goal. Again, feel free to sign up. We've left that link on the slide for you to directly go to. We are also, I want you to know I'm here for any kind of training that you would like to have within Same Goal. As you know, Same Goal has several different forms within Same Goal, not just for special ed. If there's anything you would like to do, I've left my contact information and feel free to reach out anytime. Does anyone have any questions about same goal or special ed or any concerns that you would like to talk about? Okay, well, if you do think of something, I've left my information. Please feel free to reach out anytime. Thank you.
Hello, I am Brienne, and I am the EMIS support coordinator here at LACA. Shelley Blueball is also our other EMIS support coordinator. We are going to mention graduation. Megan talked earlier about the school year initialization and getting those forms back. That fall or not fall, school year initialization has to be done before you can run your graduation collection. If you try to pull that and the SYI hasn't been done and you try to pull your grad collection, there won't be any data in there. In addition to that, you also have to have the default calendar created in FY26. Frontline let us know about that. So we wanted to make sure everybody knows that school year initialization has to be done and your default calendar has to be created in order for you to run period G. The
Really-
graduation, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
sorry, Brienne. There is a question. How do we know if our initialization has been done? Brittany, you guys are good. That's what I had said when I build that new school year out there for everybody. It's not the promotion part, it's just the building of that new school year. So you should have received an email once that has been created for you guys.
And if anybody else has any questions about that, Megan knows who's done and who's not done. Some districts only have one building done, but not the rest. So make sure your team leaders are getting that stuff back to her. The period G collection did open today. So it's that time of the year. So any questions about that? Okay. Fall initialization. So I want to clarify that default school year, it's just changing the year when you log in. Frontline schedules a rollover time for everybody. So we don't have that date yet, but once we get that, we'll let everybody know about that. The morning after you guys roll over, that's when I do fall initialization. And I send out forms to everybody of what elements you want to roll over, if you want them all put back to default values. I will send that form out, the updated form out at the end of May or beginning of June. And I'm asking all of you guys to get those back to me by July 1st. I send those out to the EMIS coordinators. I don't send them to district leaders. I just send them to EMIS coordinators just because the elements that are on there are EMIS elements. Those are EMIS reporting fields. So, and if I don't get the form back, I will run your fall initialization without checking any of the boxes I need to check. And the next slide is the elements, the boxes that you could check from last year. I don't have the updated list yet for this year. It may change, it may not. So that just gives you an example of what might be on the form. Any questions about that? And we'll talk about more at our EMIS meeting about fall initialization once I have my annual training with Frontline about it to get all the updates on it. So I run fall initialization the morning after we roll over. So Frontline usually schedules rollovers in the middle of July. I'll do it the very next morning. And then these are all of our EMIS trainings coming out. EMIS coordinators, you guys know about all these trainings. I've talked about them. The one thing I do want to highlight is our EMIS Alliance, the tools for troubleshooting data associated with local report card. That one is in person only. And we will be having that over at CTEC in their secondary building. And it is required by EMIS Alliance that at least 2 to 3 people need to attend. They're recommending 1 to 2 district or building administrators and then the EMIS coordinator for that. And then we are also having a Career Tech 101 training on June 2nd. Shelly is going to be going over all things career tech. So if you have any career tech courses or you're going to be offering more, I would highly recommend attending that.
Okay, are there any questions for Bree or Shelley? So this was a quick meeting today, and the reason is because kind of why they pushed that release back to June instead of in May. We know it's a busy time of school year with all the testing that's happening, all the end of year stuff that's happening. So we didn't want to take too much of your time today, but we really wanted to make sure that we still met. I think is Matt on here? Matt, are you? Yeah.
Sure am.
Did you want to talk about SEBT really quick at all?
Yes, I did. Thank you, Megan.
Yep.
Hey, everybody. How's it going? It's Matt again. Probably everybody knows me by now. So, one thing I wanted to mention is that the SEBT file submission is due today. For those, I imagine most people are already done, so I didn't even do a slide for it because I figured everybody's already probably completed it, but I want to put that out there as a reminder. And for the LACA districts, the way we've done that is the way we're doing it again this year. There is that report available on the student information report builder screen. It was updated on the 22nd of April. And it should create a file that is, I'm hoping, at least 95% already completed for you. You might have to like add or remove a student based on some kind of weird scenarios, but it should get you almost all the way done to submit that file for your reporting to get those funds available for your parents and families out there. That was one thing I want to mention. Just another thing is, if you have report needs, keep contacting me. I am building a report in a system probably every couple of days. I'm adding something, and I've just recently added in a disciplined detailed matrix that allows you to have a bunch of counts of your discipline in various ways. I've added in a lot of stuff. I've been getting a lot of questions about attendance percentages. What is my percentage attendance today? What is my percentage of attendance this week? What is my percentage of attendance for my building for the school year? All those reports have been added in the system. So if somebody is interested in getting that information, let me know. And on the gradebook front, I've created a new staff attendance audit report that's superior to the old one that gives you those percentages as well. And I've also added on the gradebook side a new potential skip report, which is very much superior to the old potential skip report. It looks live at your students' attendance inside student information, and it also looks live at what's going on in that teacher's gradebook and that period attendance. And it allows you in highlights in red potential skips that you may be having. So if you're also looking for potential skips and stuff with attendance, there's a lot of new attendance reports out there I've been putting out there. So let's get in contact with me and I'll be able to give you a heads up on any of those things you're looking for. Thanks. Any questions? All right, Megan, back to you.
Thank you. Ian, did you see Brian's message back to you in the chat? Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. I will go ahead and post this meeting out to our YouTube site. That way you guys have that. Again, you should have all of the slides from today. If you have any questions on any of that, please let us know. That's what we're here for. We can't stress that enough. Our team here at LACA, you guys can contact us at any time via the help desk, or you can also pick up the phone and call us if that's easier as well. But as always, we are here for you guys, and I'm going to give you back some of that time in your day. I think that's the nice thing to say when you get out of a meeting early, right?
Hey Megan, I just thought of one last question. It's for Jenny for her special ed meeting. Will that be recorded too? Because I have a hard time getting our special ed secretary who has the access to same goal to attend, but if she has a video she could watch later, it may be easier to get her to do that because I don't even have access to same goal.
Yes, Rebecca, I will record that end of the year meeting. And I also, were you able to sign up, Rebecca?
You know what? I haven't signed up yet, and
Okay,
my thought process on it is I don't have access to same goal, so
right,
I
right.
can't even do anything with.
Sure, sure. So I'm also going to be sending out those slides, and I'm gonna go ahead and CC you on it so that you actually have the presentation
Oh, I
also
appreciate
that you
that.
could share. So I'm gonna make sure you get that. And yes, I will record it. Thank
Oh,
you.
awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Matt, a question just came into chat for you.
Sure, let me look
Where-
at it here. Where are your new reports, analytics hub, report builder? Every report I'm into the system is in report builder. If it's a gradebook style report builder report, it would show up right on your gradebook screen. If you have the principal administrator screen, it's going to be on the right side right there on your report builder reports. If you're a teacher, it would be in your drop downs. And now the reports I've been mentioning are on the administrative side of the house. So it depends on, what screen you have access to, but usually every screen in there has a little report builder on the gradebook side. On the student information side, we had our report builder training session, about a month ago or something now, Megan, where we went over that. I think there's a recording on YouTube, which has the whole meeting if you want to go back and review that. But just as a 2-second Cliff Notes refresher, for those ones in student information, you're going to be going on your left-hand side, local report builder reports. And if you go to that screen and you don't have access to reports, you need to visit your Llama administrator and ask for access to that. If you do have access to the reports, they should be right there on that screen for you to click on. And if you have any questions on any of those reports, don't be afraid to email me. Or if you're looking for something specific, Megan's an expert in every single report inside Sync and all the ports that are inside SI. And if it's something that's not in there, I'll help you out and I can guide you through any of the reports that we've added through Report Builder. So that's where I'm putting all those reports at. Thank you. Any other questions or follow-ups?
I think, Rebecca, I'm getting that right now for you. If you, I'll put it in the chat. It's just our LACA tube. And I did have a question sent directly to me, wondering if secretary scheduling meetings usually last all day. We can really kind of do this based on your district needs. Some folks really like the hand holding. So I'm fine with that. If they have their class list and they want to go through every step and I walk them through every single kid getting assigned, that I can do in the entire day. But if we do for kind of, if you want me to just walk you through just the first several, then, that could just take a couple of hours. It depends on if you have a ton of changes. If you don't have a lot of changes, I can do a quick elementary scheduling session if they just want to see the process in about 2 hours. But if they want to see start to finish and we're going to do the whole thing that day and now we're going to get our schedules completely done that day, I usually say let's allot for about 5 or 6 hours. So it really depends on your building and district needs and if they've ever done scheduling before. That's a big one too. Elementary scheduling is very simple. It's a very simple process and it rolls over from year to year. So it's probably all set up and out there for them already. It's just making several changes if there aren't a ton of changes. If there are a lot of changes or you have a new building or maybe we're grade banding or doing some different things, that may take a little bit longer, but for the most part, elementary scheduling is pretty quick. Are there any other questions for us? Okay, I will be sending a note out for school year initializations if I haven't received them yet, and we'll go from there. So hope everybody has a great end of school year, and if you guys need anything at all, that's what we are here at LACA for. So please don't hesitate to reach out.